and I guess I can show you how the stripper clip's going. So I'm gonna probably make a separate video on how to stack the rounds into the stripper clip. But what you want to do to prevent rim lock is you have each succeeding round's rim on top of the previous round's rim. So if you do it correctly, you're going to have this kind of upward trend of the bullets. You're going to stick it into the stripper clip guide in this cut in the receiver right here. And then what most people do, or what's accepted, is to pull the top round and with your thumb push down near the base of the round, and it's going to kind of put pressure on the round below, and etc., 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 and then they'll go into the magazine. Okay, so that's that. Talk a little about the bayonet. It's matching, as I said. It's a what you call a socket bayonet. It slips over the barrel and you twist to your right, and it slides over so you can still see your front sight. It's a cruciform bayonet, and so that means that it looks like a cross if you look edge on, or yeah, down the edge. And those kind of wounds inflicted by a cruciform bayonet are the hardest to close up and heal, because bullet wounds, they form circles, so, or ovals, or elliptical, let's say, wounds. So what surgeons can do is when this goes through your body, they can sew around it, forming an ellipse, and then it kind of makes it almost linear, like that. Sorry, like that. And then you can just sew it up horizontally. But with a cruciform bayonet, you basically have like a star shape. I can't do it with my hand, obviously, but it's going to be like a star shape. So you're going to have like four flaps of flesh with a huge kind of cross wound going into your body, and that's going to be really hard to sew up. And also because it's tapered, it's going to spread. It's going to start from the entry, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, at least up into here. I mean, this would probably go through the average person if they're not wearing that much clothing. So, yeah. As I said earlier, it's really hard to get this bayonet on and off. I guess you could just put a Dremel in there and loosen it up, but I'm not really going to need to use it that much anyways. So, one thing is that because it's sighted in with a bayonet, it's probably going to shoot, I think most people say it shoots high and left. So you can take it off, it affects the barrel harmonics. So what you can do is when you fire the range, you can determine where it's hitting, and then you can, this is a dovetail in here, so you can just tap that with a brass punch and move it left or right depending where it's hitting. And then you're probably going to be shooting high at 100 to 200 up to 300 meters. I guess if the battlefield 0, so put it on the lowest setting, and you can either figure out how low to aim, or some people put a piece of tubing on top of that little post and kind of snip until they kind of get at least close to 0 and 100. There's also some new aftermarket sights on the web that you can buy. So, oh, I can also tell you a little bit more about this boat. So, it has a separate bolt head, which rotates separately. So that's why I said it was a complicated affair before. If you compare it to a Mauser 98, Mauser 98 is kind of like one piece with 2 locking lugs and a claw extractor. This one, as you can see right here, this is where the separate bolt head rotates. This is the cocking piece right here. And this is also, it's part of the safety actually. I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand. Probably just everything's going to fall over and it'll be a big mess. So basically, you close this, you're going to see it rotate. As you can see, it rotating there. So it rotated and locked in. So if you fire and there's a dud round or a misfire, you can always pull this cocking piece back and recock the rifle. Also, for the safety, this is going to be hard to do one hand, so I'm just going to tell you. You're going to pull back on the spring, which is very tough, and rotate it to your left. And it's going to sit on this part of the receiver. And then to do it, you just pull it back and then rotate it 90 degrees, back to 90 degrees, and let it go. And I just remembered one more thing to tell you about, and that is the receivers. So yes, it's a round receiver, but this is also what you call a high wall receiver. High wall receivers were introduced after 1941, I believe. That's just because they didn't have time to machine out this part lower, which was called a low wall receiver before. And I think they kept the high wall receivers, so you can also mount side mounts for sniper scopes, like the PU scope, so you have more like real estate here to drill and tap and then put them out. That goes over the bore like that. Okay, so I was going to tell you about the barrel bands. There's one, two, and you release them by depressing here and then sliding forward. So you can see that it's really tight fits, and they're not a complete ring. There's like a little like extension here that allows it to expand a little bit. But yeah, I kind of did a little bit of scraping here, but oh well. And this one you just press. This one's a lot easier to come off. And this is the sling. It's about 1 1/4 inch, I think. Yeah, about canvas. Metal buckle here. It's called a dog collar. And basically, this dog collar is like a little belt that goes through the sling loops right here, and they go through, and you belt it through, lock it through, and you do the same on the back, right here. I actually looked it up, and the proper way to put the sling on is to have the shorter closed loop at the front, and to have the larger open loop at the back, and then you can adjust how much slack there is between the open loop with this brown leather. I'm going to use the word thong. Okay. What else can you say? Here's a recoil bolt. So the it goes through the stock, and there's another part on the other side of the handguard, and I guess that's just for the recoil lug to move against, or prevent it from moving against, and reinforce it in the gun. So there's one recoil lug going up through here, and there's another one at the tang that goes down through here. Now there's a little bit more details, as there always are. There's something about the tang, how they went from step tang to non-step tang. I guess this would be considered a step tang, because there's a step, but don't quote me on that. You should check it up on the internet. What else? That's about it. I'm going to make a video on how to load a stripper clip and put it into the rifle, and yeah, so I have 2 other rifles that I got: a Swiss K31 chambered in 7.5 by 55 Swiss, and a Husqvarna model 640 FN commercial 98 Mauser action, chambered in 8 by 57 Mauser. And I'll be making videos on those as well, so you'll have lots of entertainment, I would say, in the upcoming near future. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. Please leave any comments, questions, or concerns in the comment section below. Thank you very much.